All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, December 14th. We have two NBA games to dive into in today's video, the semifinals of the NBA Cup. We got the Hawks taking on the Bucks and the Houston Rockets taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. We're going to dive into both of those games. I'm going to give you my prediction on the side. I'll give you my prediction on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props that we like within the game as well. But as always, guys, keep an eye down on the pinned comment for my final plays. So what I'm rolling with myself, if that does interest you, that'll be down in the pinned comment. In terms of how we did yesterday, looks like a 2-1 night. You might clap it up, be like, oh, 2-1 night. Not so fast, though. Our bigger play there, Tyrese Maxey over 27.5 points plus assists. That was a half-unit play. We were conservative yesterday. That doesn't cash. And then the Nick Claxton spot, we hit both of those, but they're just quarter-unit plays overall. So lost a little bit off the top there. But nonetheless, we've still, in the last 3 or 4 days, been pretty damn decent in the NBA. So I can't get too sour about this one. It was still a 2-1 night from a win-loss perspective, but a unit perspective, which matters more, a little bit off the top there in terms of being in the red. Our ride of the day, though, we can pick up the vibes, which you guys always do with the ride of the day. When we have bad nights, the vibes get picked up with the ride of the day. Let's pump in some damn crowd noise there for Ryan. We got Rudy Gobert over 23.5 points plus rebounds. I believe he finished with 12 and 13, so 25. Quick math there. That one cashes. So shout out to Ryan. If you guys don't know what the ride of the day is, it is simple. Just use that hashtag ride of the day or ROTD in the comments. Give me your favorite play. I jump on board with one person's pick each and every day. Give you a shout out in the next video. Also shout you out over on my X as well as the Guy Boston Sports site. And if you win, we continue to ride with your play. So looking forward to seeing what Ryan throws out there today. If you lose, we do got to address it. We do got to do the womp womp and all that good stuff. But it's all good stuff, guys. Go ahead and use that hashtag ride of the day down in the comments. And I always get the question too. I've said it and tried to clarify more so in recent videos, but why would I do the hashtag right of the day when someone's on the streak? Well, you're still helping out a ton of people in the comments, right? Like, you throwing out a play in the comments that you think is a good look could help someone that you don't even know that you're helping. So go ahead and get those hashtag right of the days in the comments, even if we are riding with someone like Ryan or something like that. But as a reminder, guys, you can see the note there. It's got to be inside -150 to qualify. But all right, what do you say we jump into game number 1 here? Make sure you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Let's go ahead and rock here. So we got the Bucks taking on the Hawks. Right now, Bucks 4-point favorites. I've seen some 3.5s out there too, so that's worth noting. The total sitting at 228. Overall, this Bucks team has looked a lot better, but the Hawks have been incredible, right? Like, the Hawks they're 7-3 in their last 10 games. They've won games as underdogs plenty. 5-5 against the spread, but the Bucks also 5-5. So I'm looking at this from a win-loss perspective. When you look at the Bucks on at home this season, 9-4 compared to their 4-7 road record. So obviously the Bucks play a little bit better at home. Hawks it doesn't really matter. 7-6 on the road, 7-6 at home. From a ATS perspective, so against the spread, yeah, the Hawks have covered in 54% of games on the road. The Bucks just 33%. We have seen this matchup, though, right? This matchup occurred early December, so earlier this month. I think it was like a week and maybe 2 weeks ago, right? Hawks won 119 to 104, and they were 4-point dogs. So I do think that that's worth considering. That now you're on. I think they were at, if I'm not mistaken, you could fact check me, but I believe they were in Milwaukee for that game as well, right? So now you have Milwaukee again on their home floor saying, oh my God, we got some revenge to get here, right? We were favorites and Atlanta beat us by like 15 points that night. So I do think that this could be a Bucks spot, not solely because of the revenge spot, but overall, both of these teams, their defensive, their best quality of their defense is preventing points in the paint as of late, and just overall on the season, Atlanta, 10th fewest points in the paint, right? And then the Bucks, the 9th fewest. Why does that matter? Well, Atlanta likes to shoot in the paint. Milwaukee doesn't exactly try all that much. Milwaukee shoots a lot more threes than they do points in the paint. So even though we did just see this matchup and Atlanta did win and all the same things were true, right? I do think this one flips on its head, and Milwaukee now is the stronger team and everything like that. So give me Milwaukee minus the 4 points. I think that they're going to be able to score from the perimeter. They've scored the 10th most points from 3 this season. Atlanta's sitting there as the worst defensive team, or one of the worst defensive teams from 3. That Knicks game shook things up a little bit, but still, nonetheless, that is their identity. And like I mentioned, one team likes to shoot in the paint. That is Atlanta, but both teams are good at defending the paint. So Atlanta's, go-to scoring method may not be as easy as it has been against some other teams. So give me the Bucks in this spot minus the 4 points. I will say, and I should have mentioned this earlier, we have a ton of injuries to note. Trae Young, he's listed as probable, but still listed as an injury, right, on the injury report. Jalen Johnson, questionable. Bogdanovich, questionable. DeAndre Hunter, probable. And then on the other side of things, we have Giannis and Middleton listed as probable. So ton of big names that are worth noting in terms of the injury report. So we'll keep an eye on that before, I guess, rolling with anything in this spot. In terms of the total, yeah, I've kind of punted this one back and forth. I don't have the strongest of opinions on it because I do think that this Milwaukee team can move and can score and stuff like that, but they haven't been playing at a fast pace, and you throw in the mix that Atlanta is the #1 pace team over the last 10 games, so I understand why someone would like an over in this spot, and I think that's ultimately where I lean towards, just due to the fact that I think Milwaukee can get some easy buckets, and then Atlanta is a fast team, but I don't hate an under here either. Like, this is one where I just went back and forth. I'm going to ultimately say, hey, go get me an over if I had to take this one, right? Or even look at a Bucks team total over. But overall, it's not exactly my. I think the Bucks -4 is going to be my favorite spot in this one, because even player prop wise, if we want to transition into the player props, I don't love player props. What I would do is target, Dame, maybe even AJ Green for some serious plus money, Gary Trent Jr., some of these perimeter players for the Bucks. I think that you attack the 3-point range. So yeah, I'd look at their over 2.5 threes, over whatever it is. So I'd look at the perimeter players for the Bucks in terms of player props, but nothing solid as of right now in terms of player props in this one. I guess I should say nothing solid in terms of player props that we have right here, but Underdog for new users does have a solid player prop. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think I did it right at least one of those times. 0.5 points for Giannis here in this one, guys. If you guys don't know what Underdog is, it's an amazing DFS app available in most states. All you do is pick higher or lower based on player set projections. You put them into an entry. The more you win, the more you get paid out. It's really, really simple, really, really fun, and gets you some action on the game like that. Go ahead and check out the link in the pinned comment as well as the description. You get this Giannis square as well as up to $1,000 in bonus cash. It's an absolute no-brainer. Go check out Underdog, guys. Again, that link will be down below, and do not miss this Giannis square either. They've dropped tons of promos for the NFL and whatnot too, so signing up today is probably a very, very good move. Go ahead and check out Underdog. Let's get into the second game here. All right, moving on to the Thunder and the Rockets game here. We got the Thunder at home, -5.5. That total sitting at 216. I have seen some 215.5s out there, so that is worth noting. We've seen this matchup already twice this season. In the first game, Thunder won 126-107. That was in OKC, right? And then we saw this matchup again in Houston just about 2 weeks ago, and the Rockets won 119-116 in a close one. They're 1-point dogs, so I don't even think that they covered, right? Or actually, they win that game outright. So yes, they did. Dumb brain F. But overall in this spot, I do think that it's going to matter the fact that we are seeing the Thunder at home, like we talked about with the Bucks, but this time kind of flipping it to the Houston side of things. Houston's 10-3 at home this year, so they're a very, very good home team. I'm not ragging on Houston whatsoever, but 7-5 on the road here. Against the spread, they have covered, but both teams at, weirdly enough, the exact same percentage, 58.3% in terms of covering at home for the Thunder or covering on the road for Houston. But I do think that the home court's going to matter here. This is a Thunder team that's obviously one of the best teams in the entire league. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games here with some good wins on the resume, right? 6-3-1 ATS. The Thunder, the Rockets doing just as well in a sense. 7-3 straight up, 6-4 against the spread. But again, I'm just factoring in the idea that the Thunder are at home, and the fact that the Rockets aren't at home is going to be a big deter for them in a sense. When you look at where the Rockets like to score from, they're kind of all over the place in a good way, right? Like, they're playing at a decent pace and a very, very, efficient pace, not in terms of scoring, but where they do shoot from. 8th highest restricted area in terms of the last 10 games frequency rank, right? 10th in the paint, and then 9th above the break 3. So they are scoring from multiple levels, or at least I should say shooting from multiple levels. But the Thunder on the other side of things, 6th fewest points from 3, and the #1 team this year in terms of points in the paint against, in terms of fewest allowed. So I do think that even though Houston can score dynamically and from multiple ranges, the Thunder's defense should be able to step up in this one. So I'm going to lean towards the Thunder minus the 5.5 points, and even outside of the defensive perspective, because this is also a very good Houston defense, right? That's why that total is down to 216. I think that outside of the defense, there's a clear-cut better offensive team, and that is going to be this OKC team. In terms of offensive efficiency this season, 9th highest, so obviously that's a very, very good sign, but it's compared to over the last 3 games here, Houston at the 27th. So yeah, I do think that this Houston team's good. I think they've been playing very, very good defense, but even think about their last win against the Warriors, right? They scored 91 points and won that game. They won it on defense, not on offense, and somewhat of the refs, I guess. But to me, if OKC says, hey, yeah, let's go play some good offensive basketball, which, by the way, they got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They are very capable of doing that. I do think that they can pull away with this one. So give me -5.5 here for OKC. I kind of want to see if we can sniff out a better line than that, because I've seen -105, -108 for that 5.5. So if that thing can drop, into the -110, -115 territory at like -5, I really don't mind that. Now, when we look at a total here, this is tough because you do have one of the most efficient offenses in the entire league in OKC, right? Like I said, ninth in terms of offensive efficiency. Yeah, they can go out there and score a bunch of points, but I do have to give Houston their defensive credit, and that's why this line is all the way down there, 216, right? So I think I'm going to slightly lean towards an under, maybe even a Houston team total under. The only thing that might keep, like, if you don't see these in the final plays, it's most likely because this line is just so low. Like, we're going to get a Houston team total way down there, and it's like, is that even worth it at that point? I'm not so sure. I don't think this is going to be a massively high-scoring game, but just like I said with the Bucks and the Hawks game, I think I am more comfortable with the spread in this one, taking the home team minus the point. So other than that, player props total wise, still kind of on the fence about a couple things. If we do add anything, like right now I don't have one player prop that I looked at, would be Amen Thompson over 0.5 threes for +200. This is the Thunder team. The only defensive weakness would be corner threes. If he gets and he leads the team, or he's at least up there in terms of, I think he's like the 3rd highest corner three in the last 10 games, attempt per game, but he's only shooting like 1 per game. But either way, if he hits one of those, then, or he's going to have more looks than he normally would, I guess. But that's the only player prop I stumbled across, and I would never throw out confidently a +200 play. But if we do add any player props or anything like that, I will add them in the final plays. And if I didn't talk about it in the video, I'll give a little blurb as to my reasoning and rationale. So if you guys do want to ride with it, or if you want to fade it, like, you have to obviously at least know why and how I arrived at that point. But guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and comment 12 if you made it this far. We're not at the 12-minute mark yet. I'm sure by the time I end rambling, we will be, but I do appreciate it. Go ahead and comment 12 if you made it this far into the video. Yeah, we got the NFL video coming out. That's going to be now on the main channel. If you guys don't know, I talked about it yesterday. Main channel, the Guy Boston Sports channel, should be back up and running fairly soon, which is very, very exciting. I'm excited to get back to the channel that we had 100,000 plus subscribers on and whatnot. So yeah, a little bit of BS, a lot of BS, I should say, actually, and a few obstacles. But you know what? It's been about 6-7 weeks, and we're going to start operating on that channel again soon as well, which is really, really cool. So go ahead and make sure to check that channel out for the NFL content this week. And yeah, keep an eye on the pinned comment. That'll take you to the Guy Boston Sports site for all the final plays. But that's what I got for you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.